Florida or Vanderbilt, but this is a really quality team, a team that will contend for the NCAA tournament in the Ivy League by the end of the season, and a group that played really well, was coached really well, and for South Carolina, this is not going to be their marquee series win if they go deep in the postseason, but this is a quality win early in the season where they're still trying to figure some things out, and it's easier to figure it out. It's easier to feel good about yourself going into a pivotal week with 3 wins instead of 2 or even 1. So South Carolina did what they were supposed to, and they walk away feeling really good about themselves moving forward.
You mentioned trying to figure yourself out. I know it's early on in the year. We've only had 2 weekend series, but what helps in a situation like this is when you have so many newcomers and you're able to figure out, all right, where are they going to be in terms of a role? And I know, again, it's so early in the season, roles will flip, roles will change, but it seems like so far Mark Kingston's very pleased with those guys.
Yeah, absolutely, and how could you not be? Obviously, you're getting what you need to from your returners and the sophomores so far, but Gavin Costas and Will McGillis back-to-back, 2 monster home runs to win this game today. Chris Veach, 2 saves over the course of the weekend on Friday, and then Sunday, just immaculate pitching from him. Then you start adding those pieces into your, the other pieces that go along with it. Caleb Denny, who had, I want to say, 3 hits and multiple big swings. The sophomores you've wanted to be good have been Nicole Messina. You're getting starting pitching that's been great so far from Will Sanders, Noah Hall, and Jack Mahoney. It's a lot of production. So all of the pieces that you've needed to be good, wanted to be good, have been through these first 8 games. And Braylon Wimmer, another guy, comes back and starts this rally in I forget which inning it was, the 6th inning, I think it was, with that solo home run. So what you needed's there, and then you bring the transfers in to be the icing on top of this cake, and they have been. And then Gavin Costas, Chris Veach, and Will McGillis early, the heroes today.
Well, going back to those newcomers, here's what Kingston had to say after the game.
They've been a nice addition to our lineup. We said it before, we kind of followed that Texas A&M model. We knew with the pitching we'd have, we wanted to have an offense that could grind you down and just have veteran at bats. And we weren't by far not the best offensive day for us. But all in all, as you look at the season as a whole, those guys have really helped.
Now, you mentioned it before, the 8th inning, the back-to-back home runs. Casas hits the first home run, the bat flip that ended up over at the loose cockaboose, for crying out loud. And then McGillis comes up and absolutely delivers a blazer down that left field line.
Yeah, and it kind of saved South Carolina. It obviously won the game, but it saved South Carolina's bacon from a, offensive standpoint. They stranded almost 20 guys on base, 14 of those in scoring position. It was a really frustrating day because you were able to get guys on, but you could never get that big hit, and you needed somebody to step up and do that, and Casas did with the game tying. McGillis even joked that he took a pitch in his at-bat just to calm himself down because the crowd was going so crazy. So yeah, that really saved South Carolina's offensive game because they had been struggling is not the right word because they were getting guys on, but they struggled with guys on to get a big hit. The at-bats sometimes didn't feel great. Some were, some weren't. And if you're South Carolina, it's easier to move forward now because you won. You're feeling a little bit better. The confidence is there. And it shows you can find ways to win in games that you're not getting the big hit, that you just kind of have to keep the game close, and who knows what happens. You have the pieces there to make some late inning comebacks, and they did. And it's a good win for South Carolina, a really good series win, sweep. Now it's about carrying it over because you got a midweek on Tuesday, and then that Clemson series looming Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, the man that was able to send the Gamecock fans home happy, he talked about his home run after the game.
So the first pitch, I just decided to take it because the place was going crazy. I didn't want to get too big and try and hit a homer. And then the next pitch, he threw a slider. I hit it. I thought it was actually going to go farther. I thought it was a matter of fair or foul, and then I could see it hooking, didn't know if it was going to get out, and then I saw the umpire when I got to second.
All right, Collyn, I know everyone wants to talk about the Clemson game, but before we get there, Tuesday night game, only one midweek game this week against North Carolina A&T. What do you want to see in this game, number one? But number two, how do you make sure, like, hey, look, don't want to look too far ahead. Big series, of course, coming up in less than a week now.
Yeah, you win first and foremost. That's the thing, and look a little bit better defensively. 3 errors today that led to some tense moments. Then the pitching's going to be there, I think. But can you look better situationally hitting? Can the at-bats with runners on and in scoring position look better? And can you clean things up defensively? First and foremost, though, you got to win. There's a lot of South Carolina kids on this roster who know how big this Clemson series is. Can you not look too far ahead, get a win against NC A&T, and take your perfect record into Doug Kingsmore on Friday night? A win is the most important thing, but just continuing to look good, look better at the plate as you enter that, because these midweeks have been kind of the bane of this team's existence, especially last season. So winning these things is the most important thing as you go into Tuesday night.
And I know for some people, they get in terms of like, hey, it's baseball, all right? There'll be some days that you go up there, you put 8, 9, 10-plus runs up. Some games you're going to be like we saw on Saturday. But for today, they have 3 home runs, but I'm sure there's going to be some people that didn't pay attention at all to the game. They're just going to look at the box score. They're going to say, how the heck did we only beat Penn by a run? In terms of what you're seeing offensively, we talked about it last week. Small sample size, still a small sample size, but what do you make of this offense so far in terms of what you're seeing at the plate? Because, again, some people are going to be like, where's the runs? Where's the production? It's not always going to be that way.
Yeah, I certainly think there's room for improvement. I don't think you walk away from this saying, yep, the offense is great, we're good, let's get ready for a regional. No, there's still room to grow. Continuing to improve and have quality at bats top to bottom with runners on, with runners in scoring position is certainly a thing. Hitting home runs is great. You got to continue to get on base, and they've done that so far. I think 31 hit by pitches. They're walking at a pretty good clip. You'd like to see those strikeouts get cut down, but in baseball today, the strikeout's just part of the game. You'd like to see those go down, but you're walking at a pretty good clip. You're getting hit by pitches at a pretty good clip. Can you continue to do that and get on base? Because home runs are great, but if it's a solo home run, it doesn't do as much for you. You like those 2-run homers, 3-run homers, grand slams, and they've been able to do that so far. So if you can continue to get on base, which is what they've done so far, you have a chance for your McGillises, your Casases, your Wimmers of the world, your Messinas of the world, your Denny's of the world to drive in more runs because guys are on. So continue to work gritty at bats. It's not a finished product by any stretch, but you're seeing them get on base at a little bit better clip than maybe in years past and working better at bats top to bottom. Sunday, to a degree, they did. Some guys did not have great at bats, but you saw what you wanted to through these first 8 from an on-base percentage standpoint. Now it's about keeping it going.
Yeah, and as we saw from just 2 seasons ago, I mean, there's nothing wrong with home runs, but as we've seen before,
have guys on base when you hit them to score more runs, yes.
Exactly. Well, as you can probably hear behind me, you can't probably see it from where we are, but they're cutting the field at Founders Park, getting ready for that game on Tuesday. That is at 4 o'clock. Collyn Taylor, you'll be here, right?
As far as I know.
He'll always be here. He's been all over the place. Knoxville for basketball, back here at Founders Park for baseball. And if you haven't subscribed to Gamecock Central already, head on over to the website, just $29.99 until August 31st. Spring football is right around the corner, and of course, the women's basketball team is getting ready for not just an SEC tournament run, but an NCAA tournament run in the coming weeks. He's Collyn Taylor. I'm Mike Yuva, reporting from Founders Park. Head on over to Gamecock Central for the latest on all your Gamecock news.